Welcome to the Patriots Lab, where we ain't even trying to make them liberals mad. Cause freedom of speech is what us individuals have. It's the gift when we gab, talking about things that the brainwash cannot mentally grasp, like staying loud and waving our American flags. This is for the free thinkers, wearing their MAGA and wearing the cags. Draining the swamp is the ultimate goal, but the sheeple will swear it's a fad, like it's just a phrase. But when we show them the facts, the fools got nothing to say, and deep government state wanna get up in our face, but hasn't done it yet cause Trump's in the way, trying to protect us from a troublesome fate. And because of that, we'll never lose our faith, plus God keeping us cool and safe. But I still hope we get 4 more years so we could throw a huge parade. I can see it now, Patriots on a float, and POTUS will go down in history as one of the GOATs for making the swamp pay for taking every one of his votes. His enemies are the cancer, whether or not Trump give him the smoke. Now relax it back and take notes as we kick facts with the homie Ray though. Speak your mind in the Patriots Lab. It's freedom time in the Patriots Lab, where we ain't even trying to, we make them liberals mad. I said speak your mind in the Patriots Lab. It's freedom time in the Patriots Lab, where we not even trying to, we make them liberals mad. I said, speak your mind in the Patriots Lab. It's freedom time in the Patriots Lab, where we not even trying to, we make them liberals mad. Speak your mind. It's freedom time. Without even trying to, we make them liberals mad.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Good evening, people, patriots, whoever you consider yourself to be. Welcome to another edition of the Patriots Lab. Remember, like, share, subscribe, ring that bell so you can get those instant notifications. And boy, do we have a great show for you tonight. Let me make sure I get all my shit up here operating right and correctly. And you already know, if you do want to come on to the live broadcast, just drop your man a message. Let me know if you want to come on, and we will make it happen for you. But Yvonne Gomez, Bill Reese is in the building. Hello, good evening, everybody, for tuning in. We got a great show. I really don't know where to start, but you know, it seems that for some reason they didn't see this coming. They didn't see this coming. We had open borders for how many years? 6 million people coming across from 141 different countries. And now we find ourselves
on what it's
dealing
calling
with
threats
this.
to the homeland. The FBI director began giving his opening statements a short time ago. Play some of that for you.
That and what we face and what we're doing to tackle them are always important, but it seems especially well-timed this year with the dangerous implications the very fluid situation in the Middle East has for our homeland security. The reality is that the terrorism threat has been elevated throughout 2023, but the ongoing war in the Middle East has raised the threat of an attack against Americans in the United States to a whole nother level. Since the horrific terrorist attacks committed by Hamas against innocent people in Israel a few weeks ago, we've been working around the clock to support our partners there and to protect Americans here at home. We assess that the actions of Hamas and its allies will serve as an inspiration, the likes of which we haven't seen since ISIS launched its so-called caliphate several years ago. In just the past few weeks, multiple foreign terrorist organizations have called for attacks against Americans and the West. Al-Qaeda issued its most specific call to attack the United States in the last 5 years. ISIS urged its followers to target Jewish communities in the United States and Europe. Hezbollah has publicly expressed its support for Hamas and threatened to attack U.S. interests in the Middle East. And we've seen an increase in attacks on U.S. military bases overseas carried out by militia groups backed by Iran.
So, with all of this going on, why? It's just a common sense, logical question. Why, in God's name, would America allow its borders still to this day to remain open? Now, it would be the most logical thing when you're, because we're in the middle of war. We're in war right now. There's no leading up to it. We're in the midst of it. Once you have initiated any type of military action, you now involved yourself in a war. Once you contribute financial aid to an opposition of the enemy, you are now in a war. So, even to this day, with us still having open borders, even though they say it's closed, you look at the footage, you be the judge. Did they not think a war with Israel and Palestine was going to lead to then some type of terrorist actions taking place here on American soil? But it goes one further. Now that we're in the midst of war, they still haven't secured our borders. So it's like they're still allowing the enemy to have an opportunity to infiltrate, as if they haven't already. As if they haven't already. And you know, Peter Ducey, he had a great question. I'm about to pull that clip up. He had a great question for Kirby. Look, here it goes.
Threats. Are they domestic terrorists?
I don't know that we're classifying people as domestic terrorists for that. I mean, that's really a question better left to law enforcement. I'm not aware that there's been such a characterization of that.
Okay. The FBI director said today, the ongoing war in the Middle East has raised the threat of an attack against Americans in the United States to a whole nother level. Has the White House considered the possibility that a terrorist could be in the country right now after crossing the southern border?
Peter, we are always concerned about the potential presence on U.S. soil of terrorists coming from overseas. That's something we're always worried about.
But there was this bulletin last week. The CBP in San Diego said militants associated with the Israel-Hamas war may be potentially encountered at the southwest
You're talking about
border.
the San Diego.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And is there any heartburn around here? 600,000 known gotaways just in the last fiscal year.
Yeah.
Is there any heartburn about leaving the border in such a condition that one of those 600,000 could be a terrorist?
So let me just break this down for you just a little bit here. First of all, I can't speak to this intelligence report that was leaked to the media. I wouldn't do that. I can tell you that we are constantly monitoring as best we can all ports of entry to the country for the potential arrival of anybody who might wish us harm. And one of the things that the president asked for in this supplemental was additional funding for border security.
Okay. So we heard what he had to say about the situation. And you notice the one thing that has the same ring, the same tone to it throughout every case. We need more money. We need more money. More money for what? More money for what? The initial thing is to stop the bleeding. He wants to send $100 billion to aid Ukraine and Gaza. while they're blowing them up. What is the money for? People, we're talking billions and billions of dollars. Billions and billions of dollars is what we're talking. So I have to ask the question, because like I said, we're in it. We're in it knee deep now. We're in it. So are we funding the war? Would there be able to be a war without America's backing? With all of the things that we have to focus on here at home in America, I would think that it at least begs the question. There's a young man, and I'm going to play this video clip. I love doing clips. I'm going to play a video clip of a young man who I'm going to give him big props, because he says what a lot of people want to say, but don't have the courage and guts to say.
The hypocrisy of this speech. The hypocrisy of the fact that what do you have? Can you please?
Let me start it from the beginning.
Sit down.
I know you're not sorry. That's the point. The hypocrisy of this speech. The hypocrisy of the fact that what do you have? Can you please? Can you please make a statement about President Joe Biden's speech? This is a clearly warmongering speech. President Joe Biden is calling for $100 billion of funding for Israel, Taiwan, and Ukraine, and we're supposed to just bundle these together and pretend like we're going to rush to World War III, and we're all just going to let Hillary Rodham Clinton sit here. Okay.
I'm sorry. You know,
yes.
This is not the way to have a conversation.
I'm sorry.
If you want to have a conversation, you're welcome to come talk to me afterwards.
You can sit here. Okay, right. You're gonna wait for me, right? Please, I do not believe you.
And I will listen to you, and I will respond to you.
I do not believe you. Respectfully, I do not believe you. And the fact of the matter is that the American people's voice are what need to be heard.
Yeah, they are being heard.
Because our president is not speaking for the American people, and neither are you.
That's your opinion. That's your opinion.
Yes.
So I fell in love with that young man's video, because he wasn't going to let someone, just because they're a politician or what have you, silence his voice. And if you notice what Hillary had to say, and it's amazing how they do this. They say they're speaking for the people. They say they're speaking for the people. And you know what? When they're allowed to bring up such emotion from the American people, because we as the American people, we understand the atrocities that are taking place in the Middle East, and we don't like it, and we want something done about it. And what they do is they use that as a tool to say the American people want us to do this. But we have to realize and understand, when we do that, this is the exact ammunition that they need, that they use to do the things that they want to do. $100 billion. But we're in it now. We're in it. And every day, they are now coming on here talking about an American threat here at home. But wait a minute. I thought people like me and people that represented patriotism, I thought MAGA was the number one existential threat here in America. I thought MAGA was the threat. But now we get to see what a real threat is. Because not only have the Iranians come on American foreign soil and told us that they were going to hurt us. Y'all heard what the guy said at the United Nations. But now our own government has to confirm that, it's just a matter of basically when and where. So let me who fell asleep at the wheel? Who fell asleep at the wheel? I'm not afraid to say it. I am not afraid to say it. I say it in people's face every day. Who fell asleep at the wheel? The American people fell asleep at the wheel. The American people allowed themselves to get duped and manipulated by a system that they can no longer now get themselves out of. By closing a blind eye to one and blatantly just showing disregard to the other, has left you and left us in now such a vulnerable state. If we would have stuck together as a nation for what was right, not for what people told us to think or told us to believe, but for what we seen with our own eyes and for what we felt inside of our own guts, we would not be in this situation now. Have we learned? Have we learned from it? Look at our universities. Look at the streets in the major cities. Look at what the Jewish communities throughout this country now have to deal with. And not just the Jewish communities, but basically Western civilization. So now it's just a matter of when and where. When and where. And at the end of the day, who's really to blame? We are supposed to be stewards of this great nation. Not the government, We the people. And we the people fell asleep at the wheel. That's just it. We didn't stand strong enough or firm enough on the positions that was presented before us that we was supposed to stand on united as a country. Without, saying things in detail, we didn't stand united on the positions that we should have stood united on that we now see we should have done. But it's too late. We can't go back and change what happened. But we can change the future. It's amazing to me. It's amazing to me how we can go from peace and prosperity one day to war, conflict, and this outrageous economy the next. What's wrong with this picture? You can't tell me that you in this country wasn't better off when Orange Man was in office. But he's coming back. That's the one thing that gives me hope. Because being that I believe the American people have learned, he will once again get an opportunity to reset everything. If you just listen to what he's saying, given the opportunity to once again reset everything and make everything right and get everything back on the right path. And maybe we won't squander it or take it for granted like we did the first time. But he's built for this. They've been trying to take him down a long time. Hello, Dottie, Adrian, Darren, Mark, Jill. Good evening, everybody. Hope everybody's having a safe and blessed day, evening, whatever you do on this day. But let's get into this last video. Let me just show you this last one real quick, and then I will send you patriots on your way.
Dick. Lewis and his friend who did the filming have both been charged with aggravated robbery and assault. Court documents say the two also had a gun on them.
Here we go. Sorry about that.
Since he floated down the escalator, Democrats have fetishized his arrest.
I am not running for anything except the impeachment of Trump.
He may be the first president in quite some time to face the real prospect of jail time.
He has done something so serious that there should be prosecution against him.
Democrats have campaigned on arresting Trump for years. The resistance have made mere mortals into superheroes. Michael Cohen dressing up as Superman, like he needs an excuse on Halloween. Biden's campaign strategy is don't trip and lock him up. And Democrat judges, they are all in. Jamaican-born Obama donor Tanya Chutkan, who calls herself a judge, is slapping Trump with a gag order because Biden's prosecutor, Jack Smith, doesn't like being called deranged. Do you think Donald Trump is going to respect a gag order? He doesn't see a gag order as a threat. He sees it as a challenge. And Judge Chutkan is this close to throwing Trump in jail for talking. Yeah, you can go to jail now for talking if you're running against Joe Biden. But every time Trump's arrested or mugshotted, he raises millions and his poll numbers shoot up. Democrats are realizing Trump's more dangerous from jail. And now, Eric Holder is telling Democrats, just like Biden told Iran, don't lock him up. Yeah, Eric Holder is begging Democrats to restrain themselves for doing the one thing they wanted to do, more than anything, and I mean anything, for the last couple years.
I think there are a number of things you put monetary fines on him, as the judge did in New York, perhaps restrict his ability to use Truth Social. A number of things. I try to be as creative as possible if I were the judge, but I'd be extremely reluctant to take a person who's a former president, the leading candidate of one of our major parties, and actually put him in jail.
Because you'd be worried about the political consequences or the reaction in the country?
Yeah, I mean, this is already a pretty divided nation, and to do something like that, to take somebody off the campaign trail, to put him in jail, I just would be very reluctant, really reluctant to do that.
So, here we have Eric Holder. Now, I don't know if that is a call sign to slow down the process, pump the brakes. Okay, we went too far. It's not working. Revert to plan B, but we are about to scrap plan A. Because obviously, as you can see, Donald J. Trump is not afraid to, like they said, break gag orders, anything he feels is infringing on any of his rights. He is going to bark back against. So he is not going to be quiet. So, like Eric Holder said, he would be very hesitant to lock Donald Trump up. But then again, I don't think this is Eric Holder's administration and he has any part in it. But if they, first of all, I would love to see how that would happen, being that he's protected by the Secret Service. So I would like to see how that goes down. But the bottom line is, like Jesse said, his numbers keep going up. The more and more of this stuff that they pull. So basically, I've come to the conclusion and understanding that they know the gig is up. They know America's on to whatever they're doing. And now it's basically just full steam ahead. Go along with it until they stop it. It's like that. It's like that running, playing football. We just gonna keep running 44 up the gut until they stop it. So that's their plan. That's their plan. We just gonna keep doing all of the shit we want to do until they stop it. I mean, sooner or later, and it's going to be sooner than later. I can damn near guarantee that every day that goes by is a day closer to us waking up or going to sleep to your breaking news and something went down somewhere. Your government is already preparing you for it. They're going to be able to say we was preparing the American people. We was warning people. But at the same time, they keep allowing them to come over. So what good are the warnings? What good are the warnings? How are you going to tell somebody, stop beating the shit out of me, but yet you keep supplying him with shit to beat the shit out of me with? I don't know. I guess they take America for just a bunch of dummies. I really do. I really do. I really do. Because there's no way you can tell me or convince me that you couldn't see this coming. You know we have millions of illegal immigrants over here. You know the potential of doing harm here in America. You had to know that there was a chance that if we involved ourselves or if we got tangled up into world issues after allowing millions of people in here that we don't know, that this was going to come to this. So how long do we have to fight this? The new war of terrorism. Because when we had the terrorist attacks in the past and stuff, prayers out to the families of the loved ones that were lost and all of that stuff. But we was somehow hopefully getting them under control. But now, since we've let a new flock in, a new breed in, we have a whole new revolution of terrorism that we got to deal with now. My generation, my kids' generation, your kids' generation. Pandora's box has been opened up. And really now, as Americans, there's nothing we can do but stay vigilant. Keep your head on a swivel. You see something, say something. Yeah, that's the days we living in today. You see something, say something. And if you're a person like me, you see something, do something. Because whether you wanted to voluntarily include yourself into the situation at hand that's about to take place, you're going to have no choice. You're going to have no choice. Let me ask you a question. Go back throughout history and look at the scene of the streets and of the people when, now I'm not saying it's going to happen here, but I'm just saying go back and look at the videos of the countries, of the people in the streets after they've locked up or a political opponent of an opposition. It didn't turn out nothing nice. I didn't see that many kumbaya moments in the streets of countries of really pissed off citizens that felt their rights being stripped away from them, which really brought to the forefront some type of tyrannism or dictatorship or some type of stuff like that. Because see, you don't know what type of reaction you get when you step on the throats and rip out the hearts of hundreds of millions of people. You never know. One thing for sure, I don't know what the hell they're going to do to not allow Trump to be president again. But damn it, if whatever they trying to do don't work, he's going to be president. That's just a guarantee without a shadow of a doubt. So get your milk and cookies. Start popping your popcorn. Because, man, this is about to get good. because something's got to give. And it's got to give sooner than later. So, hey, on that note, I appreciate everybody for tuning in with your man here in the lab. I'm now back up on YouTube, Twitch, and for now, we'll see how things go until the powers to be decide I didn't play the game good enough for them. But yo, in the meantime, in between time, I appreciate everybody for tuning in. This is your man from the lab. In the mean, I'm out.